From fantasy's immersive world building and characterization to the complex and thought-provoking sci-fi plots we easily invest in, to the inspiring, interactive, and challenging hero's journey of superhero plots. It's ironic the genre with the best plot writing is the overly criticized whodunit, but the immersive, investive, and interactive aspects of the plots from these 6 mystery thriller stories perfectly constitute everything that makes up the perfect plot. The first of these being Severance's creative setting.
I am a person. You are not. I make the decisions. You do not. And if you ever do anything to my fingers, know that I will keep you alive long enough to horribly regret that.
A plot is the structure that underlies a story, providing a framework for characters, setting, and themes to unfold. Think of it as a roadmap that guides us through the narrative with a starting point, obstacles, twists and turns, and a final destination. Severance is a story about individuals who work for a company that surgically severs their memories, keeping their work lives and their personal lives separate. The major setting of this is a company called Lumen Industries that's in charge of the severance procedure. And apart from Severance's amazing cinematography, what makes its setting so compelling is how it significantly affects the progression of the story's plot. The exits and entrances to our characters' workplaces serve as automatic switches between their work selves, innies, and their primary selves, outies, acting as the barrier preventing innies from communicating with their outies or anyone else outside the company, and preventing outies from knowing what goes on inside the company, hindering our protagonists from figuring out the everly increasing mystery of what Lumen Industries is up to.
Work is bullshit.
The work is mysterious and important.
Using color contrast to foreshadow major plot points, like with Helly's standout color scheme signifying her outie working with Lumen, camera lens transitions that create distorted views of innies to signify the change in personality. Lumen's orderly design based on giving innies a calm and orderly environment to efficiently carry out their work, and the challenge of characters switching between their innie and outie personalities, affecting their goals like in the second season's stellar finale, are why Severance's creative setting completely immerses us in its narrative. The next aspect that also completely immerses us in a story's plot is Gone Girl's great characterization.
I picture cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains, trying to get answers. The primal questions of any marriage. What are you thinking? How are you feeling? What have we done to each other?
Gone Girl's plot follows Nick Dunn as he tries to uncover the mystery of his wife Amy Dunn's disappearance, but eventually finds out that Amy faked her disappearance in order to frame him for her murder and get him sentenced to a death penalty. The increasing maniacal nature of Gone Girl's plot is attributed to its stellar characterization, as the characterized actions and decisions of both Amy and Nick constantly progress its plot. Nick and Amy start out in a happy relationship, and just like in every happy relationship, they face problems that reveal the true nature of their personalities. Nick cheats on Amy. She finds out and executes her diabolical plan to destroy him. Nick then finds out what Amy has done, and after revisiting some of her past relationships, understands the type of person she truly is, but ultimately has no way of proving it. He manages to confront and apologize to her by going on live TV, but Nick's response sparks something in Amy's twisted heart, leading her to once again kill and frame an old suitor for rape, along with the crimes she had previously placed on Nick, before forcing Nick back into a relationship with her by leveraging her pregnancy and the fact that any attempts of leaving her or revealing her true nature to the public would only lead to him tarnishing his image. Gone Girl's plot is one of my favorites because it immerses us by both using characterized decisions to progress both the plot and the characters themselves, and by revealing extra layers of its characters' personalities as the plot progresses to further justify the actions and decisions they make throughout its story. Moving on to the investive section of plot writing, we have From's Volatile narrative.
Now this is going to sound very
very strange, and you're not going to believe me, and I wouldn't believe me either. Okay, and I wish there was more time to explain, but if you don't come with me right now, you're all going to die.
I'll keep this brief because I've only seen the first season, and From's plot honestly has more wrongs than rights. But what it does do absolutely well is keep us at the edge of our seats. This story follows strangers who mysteriously end up in a town they can't escape from, where creatures hunt them every day from sundown till sunup, with their only hope of survival being to lock themselves inside their homes and hang up certain talismans. The characters in From live with the constant fear that they could easily die before waking up the next morning, and the eerie nature of its narrative creates a very tense and mostly unpredictable atmosphere, one that keeps us constantly invested in its plot. Now, Knives Out and its satisfying twists.
But we must look a little closer. And when we do, we see the donut hole has a hole in its center. It is not a donut hole, but a smaller donut with its own hole. And our donut is not a hole at all.
We all hate when plot twists feel random and convenient, story contradictory, or overly convoluted. So here's how Knives Out does the exact opposite of these. Following the suicide of a renowned crime novelist, an inquisitive detective Benoit Blanc is mysteriously hired to investigate his death as he decides to question the family, the lies they tell to cover up their situation with Harlan Thrombey before he died, along with his uncertainty of who hired him, increase his interest in the case. Using subtle foreshadowing like,
"You did this." "Ransom, are you back again already?"
and establishing sound-consistent characters to progress its story. Knives Out's plot creates multiple coherent red herrings, misleads, and plot twists,
A donut hole in a donut's hole.
which could come off as convoluted but are instead excellently aligned with previous establishments in the story. Congratulations on making it to the final section, as interactivity is what makes a plot not only resonate with us, but feel like a story was worth experiencing, like in the case of the thrilling and engaging nature of Death Note's riveting conflicts. The conflict between our protagonist Light and his antagonist L serve as the obstacle preventing Light from achieving his goals. L is quite literally the perfect matchup for Light, perfectly challenging the intellectual prowess Light uses to kill criminals without getting caught, though Light, or Kira, has the advantage by using a death note that kills anyone whose name is written inside. L makes up for it with his immunity to the death note, as his real name is unknown, and with the connection and resources he uses to get closer to catching Kira. L is such a massive challenge for Light that he forces Light to go to several extreme measures in order to overcome him. The riveting back and forth between L and Light is what keeps us engaged in Death Note's narrative, as we constantly fear for Light as he continues on towards achieving his goal, even though it's one that's as cynical as killing every criminal in the world. This engaging and interactive conflict is an example of great plot writing that ties nicely into the final point in this video, Sherlock's meaningful payoffs.
Golem. It's a horror story, isn't it? What are you saying?
Jewish folk story, a gigantic man made of clay. It's also the name of an assassin. Real name Oscar Zinzer, one of the deadliest assassins in the world. That is his trademark style.
So this is a hit?
Definitely. The golem squeezes the life out of his victims with his bare hands.
But what has this got to do with that painting? I don't see...
You do see, you just don't observe.
After immersing us with creative settings and beautiful characterization, then keeping us invested with tense atmospheres and twists, to eventually giving interactive conflicts, meaningful payoffs are the final aspect of stellar plot writing. The 2010 Sherlock Holmes series has the best depiction of his character I'm yet to see in fiction, and that's because every aspect of the plot progression in its story felt worthwhile, be it a common murder crime or the evil doings of his arch-nemesis Moriarty. Sherlock takes us through uncovering its story's mysteries every step of the way by carefully analyzing any bit of evidence, abnormality, or suspects in a case, though there are arguments raised that his analysis may be far-fetched, in truth, he's able to solve mysteries by deducing a multitude of clues through how they align with each other using his keen observation and memory. When characters are capable of progressing in a story through training, strategy, or whatever means they might have, it feels worthwhile, and the way Sherlock's plot progresses, taking us along as he faces conflicts and overcomes obstacles, is the satisfying payoff a plot needs that ties up what constitutes for the perfect plot. Yes, the worlds and characters of fantasy plots keep us immersed, the complex, thought-provoking sci-fi keeps us invested, and the engaging superhero plots feel highly interactive, but mystery thriller's ability to seamlessly culminate these aspects makes it the perfect example for writing an amazing plot. And as usual, whether you agree with me or not, check out this video to see what genre writes the best world building, or how animated stories write the best characters.